Hey guys, Bryce Tubbs here with my handy dandy hands-free driving device. Now today what I want to talk about is how to get freelance bookkeeping clients. Now this title and this question that is being asked, it has a lot of merit, right? Because when you're first starting out, like back in 2014 when I was starting my business, I was trying so hard to get clients. And my focus would be on getting clients. But now that I look back, from growing my firm to six figures and from mentoring, hundreds of other students inside of my mentorship program since 2019. By the way, if you want some help growing your business, I recommend that you go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me to see if I can help you out. There's gonna be more inside the description. Just click on the link, just take a look at my calendar, see what time works best for you, and then book the call. But back to what I was saying, so it's not that trying to get clients was the thing that was the mistake. It was how I was going about approaching it based on the questions, ideas, and understandings that I had. So looking back now, whenever I work with someone, I'm always thinking about what are the different marketing systems that we can put in place to be able to not only get one client today, but also get clients next week, the week after, the month after, the year after, 10 years after. And how do we make it so that it gets easier for you to book calls over time, right? Because after all, think about it. If you're spending all your time trying to get clients, when are you going to be able to actually do the accounting and bookkeeping work? Exactly. So your marketing actually needs to be the thing that's more of a passive kind of lead generator that allows you and frees up your time to be able to either do the work or once you outsource the work or subcontract the work, you can be able to have just total freedom, like time freedom. For example, like Audrey was at it took her like a month to get to like $5,500 per month. She started at like zero, because she was leaving her job because she was just irritated with her with the current job, right? Because they were treating her like crap. Like they kept passing her up for promotions at work. She was trying as hard as what she could, but she just wasn't getting the respect that she deserved. I know I'm kind of like getting frustrated as I'm saying that, because it's like I was in that position. A lot of people who work with me are in that position where it's like you might be making good money, but it's just like that you could be doing more. And you know that in a lot of cases you're underappreciated, right? Because the value that you're bringing to your employer, the value you're bringing to the company is allowing them to go and scale their business. But in a lot of cases, it's not really reflected on the appreciation level they show to you or the money that you're making inside of your paycheck. And I apologize if the cars is making too much noise. If you don't like when the car is driving, we do have other videos on the channel, but I just decided I had some free time now to come and just share this with you. But what we had to do for her, right, and if you ever watch her her student recap interview, she always talks about she has this system to be able to go and get leads, right? So instead of thinking about getting clients, like how do I get my next client? How do I get my next client? Where do I have to go? What do I have to do? It's more of like who and what do you have to put in place? Who do you have to talk to? What do you have to have in place in order for the conversations to keep flowing? What is the message script you need to say in order to get an understanding of their pains, their problems, and concerns? What platform should you be using on social media? Should it be LinkedIn? Should it be your website? Should it be Facebook? Should it be Instagram? And with each one of those platforms, right, whichever one you choose, I like to always recommend, choosing one or two platforms maximum when you're starting out. Like, what are the avenues within the social media platform in order for you to grow? For example, is it you posting content? For a lot of my students, we don't actually have them posting content. It's more relationship driven, right? So it's almost like, I like to call it more of like virtual networking. So how to build an ecosystem and a network of people who are making 6, 7, and 8 figures running their own business every single year. How do you go and build that relationship? How do you get them to start telling you about their wins? How do you get them to start sharing like their pains? How do you get them to start sharing like whenever a new event's coming? How do you get them to invite you and actually refer clients to you, whether they're working with you yet or they're not working with you yet? And the more people they refer to you, the higher the percentage and the chance that they're actually going to work with you in the future. It's just ridiculous, like once you get this thing going. And that's why whenever you see some of my students, like whenever they start getting successful, if you ever watch like a recap interview or like a coaching call I do with them, I always get really confident once they've hit a certain number goal, right? Generally it's like when you use the way that I help you guys get clients, it is so systemized that once the penny drops and once the ball drops, then the other clients that might have been on the fence or might have been waiting to get started, they all start lining up and coming back to you. And oftentimes, like, it's not uncommon for you to hear my students, oh, this student just closed 6 out of 7 deals in the past month. And it's not that, they were working 7 times harder than back when they were getting their first client. It's just that the system has been working for them, and now they are 7 times more effective than the average person. And what this allows us to do is every single time that an established student wants to go and make more money, they can turn on the automated system, make a couple call to actions, they book a number of calls in their calendar, and now they hit that goal. And like, for example, like Paul. Paul's an interesting student of mine, right? Because when he first got started, he was trying to do like Upwork, right? So he was on Upwork, but he was getting clients, and they were like, trying to pay him like $30 an hour, and then they had like maybe like 10 hours worth of work a month, and it was just like ridiculous. It's like, you can't really make any money off. That's like a $300 a month client. You can't get to 6 figures easily with like $1,300 a month clients, because like generally what happens is you get to a place to where you're working like 40, 50, 60 hours a week. You have like, 30, 40 clients, but then when you actually look at like, hey, how much money are you making? You're only making like $7,000 to $8,000 a month. And then you start getting like burned out, frustrated, angry, annoyed, and then you hate your business. Then you end up like, for lack of better words, like back in corporate America, which there's nothing wrong with that if you're starting corporate America. But I mean, if you're going to be, starting a business, we wanted to make, 6 figures at the minimum, at least 10K per month. And I'm not trying to say that like offensively, if your business is not at 10K per month. I'm just saying you don't, start a business, put in all the effort, put in all the work that's involved to not be reaching a certain financial goal. If you're gonna put in the work, you gotta get the result. You gotta go and get what you deserve. It's very simple, and that's why it's all about those systems, right? So for example, Paul. So the first thing it says, hey, bro, get off Upwork. Like, stop going Upwork. I don't want you sending out any proposals. Like get off Upwork. It's just a race to the bottom. You're just competing with like people from different countries who are charging way too low amounts of money, and then you're dealing with like people who are a little bit more inexperienced and they're willing to accept a lower amount of money, right? You don't have to accept a lower amount of money. Just go find better clients who have no other competition or no other offers on the table, who are secretly looking for the service, but they're just not announcing it to the world because they need to find someone they can trust, right? Those are the people that pay you a higher amount of money per month, right? Because one, they're making decisions based off trust and relationship, not based off of money like the average, potential client is, right? Whenever someone's on Upwork, generally they're looking more for like, who's the lowest price? Who's the person that will give me the most for the less or for the least, right? And that's just kind of the mentality that's on there. Versus whenever you know how to use social media, it's more about the people are looking, because they have a lot more at stake, right? If you're talking to business owners that's doing like 7 figures or 8 figures per year, if they make the wrong decision, like their business can be catastrophically like, impacted. So they have to be very careful, and they have to trust the person that's coming. So then when you're talking to them, you're using the systems that we talk about inside of my program, you are building the right relationships. You are actually kind of gaining that trust. It's just like a passive trust that's just like built into the way you talk to people. Then they trust you a lot more. You get on the phone, they're like, okay, cool, man. Like, I don't really care how much it costs. Like, dude, when can you help me out? When can you get started? And it's just a totally different relationship, right? So Paul, like when he was first getting started, I think he was at like $1,500 a month or something. I can't remember what exactly he put on his form, but it was like, it was, for the amount of work that he was putting in, it just wasn't a lot of money. And then he came on our coaching call last week, and he was like, hey man, I ran my numbers through QuickBooks, and like that's one thing I encourage all my students when they start hitting success is like actually do bookkeeping for your own business. And he's like, whoa, dude, I did $7,000 this month. I was like, oh, it's been like 40 days since he got started, right? And it's just like your life can change really, really quickly. It's just you got to have those systems in place. He's like, yeah, man, I did $7,000 this month, and I have like 4 other calls in the calendars. I'm following up with like 3 other people using the follow-up process you taught me. And it's just like, dude, that dude's gonna be at $12,000 a month in the next like probably like 2 to 3 months. And he started at $1,500 a month at the, I think it was like the beginning of like March. Dude, like guys, like this thing is not complicated. You just need to have the right things in place. And then once you're able to do that, you just go and just make money a lot faster. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's just very simple and very repeatable. That's the thing that most people don't understand. A lot of people think it's just easy, and they kind of like disrespect the process and the business, versus when you have more of a realistic understanding of what it takes, and you know exactly how many people you need to speak to, you know exactly like what a good lead looks like, you know exactly how to start building those relationships, how many relationships you need, like what to do to foster trust faster, then it becomes very, very simple, very streamlined, and that's when you start taking off. So don't misunderstand me when I say it's easy. Like, it's simple, but it's not easy, and that's why all the people come and sign up with me for my mentorship program, because it's a simple process. It's just most people, including myself when I first got started in 2014, don't know how to line up all the different pieces, like the pricing, the marketing, the sales aspect, the how to buy your time back, how to get a team established, right? And once you know that, man, this thing is ridiculous. That's why my track record is so good with getting people to that, 10K, 15K, 12K, 20K per month mark. It's because of the way that I had to build my business first. And I just share exactly what I did. So if that's something that interests you, you want to know exactly what it takes to go get to, whatever your goal is, right? Maybe it's 10K a month, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20K per month. And you've been trying it on your own. Maybe you're getting ready to start, but you're just kind of overwhelmed, and you've been trying to get clients, but you just don't have any clients yet. Like, I recommend and I just invite you to go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me to see if I can help you out. Keep in mind, I can't help everybody. Like, I'm not a good fit to work with every single person. It takes a very specific person to, to utilize what I tell them properly and get to the result. And that's why, like, we have to do the call. Because if you're not a good fit, I have to be really honest and be like, hey, so this is probably a better avenue and a better way for you to go about it. But if you are a good fit, I'm like, okay, cool. So here's how we're actually going to do this. Like, we're going to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And this is what it's going to look like for us to work together to accomplish this goal. Because I know you can do it. You're very similar to some other people I've worked with. And there's patterns that have emerged based on what is going on currently in your life. And then you can make a decision right then and there, like whether or not it's the best time for you to get started. So if you want to do that, if you want to go and reach your goal, if you're tired of like settling for less than what you deserve, you're tired of being a person who doesn't really understand what it takes to grow the business, you want to join the side of people who's like, abundant. They are confident, they're competent, they know exactly what it takes to go and grow. Come and join the party by clicking the link, book a call, join the program. If you're not quite ready for that yet, that's okay too. We have a lot of videos, to kind of train you in the interim, for you to be able to start making some traction and kind of get to a point to where you're ready to get started working with me. At the very least, at this channel, we have designed it so that, whether or not you work with me, you're still going to get a lot of value. You're still going to get some pretty good results. So, that's just kind of the company ethos that I've established with this mentorship program. It's like, it doesn't really matter if you work with me, as far as the paid capacity, you're still gonna get some value, because at the very least, like, maybe you can refer some people to me who are ready to go and change their life. And then but if you are ready for the call and you're ready to go and win, and you're tired of like struggling or not hitting your goals, go ahead, click on the link, book the call. I'll see you there. I'll talk to you soon. Let's see if we can work together. Take it easy.